So I built a box for my scooter. I wish I recorded making it, but I didn't even think of that. Putting them together this close is a little awkward for me, so I had to move the landing back a bit. Once I moved the landing back, I tried to get used to the lip and the gap and practiced a tail whip over it so I could get used to the landing. This was my first time hitting a double, so it took a little to get used to. After about 15 to 20 minutes, I really started to feel out landing on a slope. After only riding on flat ground since I got back on my scooter, I forgot how nice it feels to hit a lip and not have to land on flat. Once I hit the lip, it was really smooth and I felt comfortable. So I tried to tail whip, and I didn't even get close. So I made sure I could still do a tail whip after not riding for about a year. Turns out I could. There was a lot of fails, but as I got more used to the lip of the jump, I ended up doing it, but wanted to do it better. So I took one more run and I did it. After I was done riding, I ended up going over to my friend's, and we found this old scooter in his garage. So we started making it better. We put actual scooter wheels on it, and the front one went on nice and easy. All we had to do was get some Allen keys and screw off the front wheel to put the new one on. We didn't know if it would fit or if we were getting into something bigger. Turns out, the front wheel went in perfectly fine, and all we had to do was put the screws back into the scooter with the new wheel. However, with the back wheel, we did not get so lucky. There were spacers in there, and every time we tried to put the wheel in, they fell out. And when we finally did get it in, it was too big, and the wheel would not spin at all because it hit the back of the scooter. So we had to think of something to do to get it to work right and fit in properly. We went down into the garage and found a file. We ended up doing this. Once we started filing, it wasn't that bad. Even though the file only took a little bit of metal off at a time, it didn't take too long because when we tried to put the wheel in before, it barely was bigger. So we only had to take a little bit off. It didn't take too long. When trying to put the back wheel in, we had the same problems as before. When you tried to slide the tire in, the spacers would fall out all the time. It didn't go as smooth as we wanted it to, and it took a little bit more effort than we expected. But we eventually got it in, and obviously tightening the bolts was not a big problem at all. The wheel still did scrape a little bit. We didn't file it down quite enough.
Right here.
No, if it rolls, it rolls.
Barely. Look at it though.
So what?
Show it.
So when we got all done, we decided to do the best thing. We took it down some big hills. Now it did roll smooth, and the bearings and everything weren't a problem, but it was a scooter from Walmart. It didn't work the best, the handlebars were bent really far back, but we seemed pretty comfortable on it. Even though we seemed comfortable, I think we got a little cocky. At the bottom of the hill, we had to roll into his neighbor's driveway to slow down. My friend got a little cocky and tried to bunny hop the little drain thing that was in front of it to keep water from going into the driveway. On this run, we got a little too excited, and he pulled up a little bit too fast, and this happened.
Yeah, okay.